let's talk about creativity. Does your creativity suck? Are you worried that your ideas are shallow, lame, or derivative? Or maybe you're confident in your ideas, but you think they might be a little too out there, a little too wild, and maybe people won't get them? And can this creativity stuff actually be learned or taught at all? Or is it just more like you're either born with it or you're not? And if you're not, then you're out of luck and you should probably just go get that degree in accounting. What about instructional series like Game Story Basics or how-to books or college classes? What about education in general? Can that really teach stuff like creativity? And where do ideas come from anyway? Well, that's a lot of questions. In this series, we're going to talk about creativity and ideas, and we're going to try to answer all of those questions and probably some other ones that come up along the way. So the first thing to know about creativity is that it's a process, the creative process. This is based on my experience, which spans 3 decades, both in terms of solo creative drive and collaborative. This is what my experience is of myself and others. There may be other ways that this works for other people, but this is what I've seen in a lot of creatives. So it's this process with 2 sort of polar opposites mental states, and then when you're being creative, you kind of move back and forth between the 2 states. So on the one hand, you have what I call the wild mind, and then the other mental state is called the analytical mind. And you might think, well, that's a weird, analytical mind is a weird thing to include in a creative process. To you, I say, just hang on. I'll get to why that is part of the creative process. But for now, let's talk about the wild mind. The wild mind is an unstructured, nonlinear, illogical state where you're just kind of in a fever dream and you're just having ideas. And this, frankly, is where you have your best ideas. So it often, for me, happens when I'm doing some other activity. If I'm driving on the highway, a big portion of my brain, particularly the more analytical part of my brain, is focused on keeping me alive, paying attention to the car and what other cars are doing, but it leaves a part of my mind free to wonder. Then it enters sort of that wild mind where just ideas come to me. Sometimes they're ideas that are things that I was thinking about already, like how do I deal with this, or what's a good way to do that. Other times they're just completely new ideas, right? Just like, what if I did this? Oh, that's crazy, right? Walking my dog is another one. Doing cardio, right? It's almost when you're in a sort of meditative state. When you've been doing creative stuff for a long time, you can, I think, sit down and decide that you're gonna sort of think freely for a while. If you have trained yourself to do that, although I think it's generally better. This is one reason so many creatives go for a walk, right? It's just a part of it. You're out in the world, got to watch out for cars, you're moving your body, you have to be, part of your mind is taken up with stuff, and that actually frees up another part. That's all for now. I'll see you on the next one.